Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of What's Happening SBC. I'm your host Beau Norman.
And I'm Caleb Lemon. So Beau, how are you feeling today?
I've been feeling a little tired today. Why do you ask?
Well, I just started walking more and I gotta say, I'm feeling great.
I have a feeling you're going to tell us all about this.
You know me too well, Beau. I think exercise is really important, and with the year that we've had, good habits have kind of gone away from me and a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so tell me more about where you're walking.
Well, since the weather has gotten nice and it's light longer in the evening, I've been trying to go out walking every other day. That got me thinking about some great places I've been to do some walking.
Oh yeah? And are any close?
Actually, one is very close, and it's easy if you don't have transportation. It's right here at the college. The quad has a nice sidewalk and a covered awning. I even got a walk in a few days ago, and it was raining, but I was able to get out of the rain thanks to the awning.
I've never thought about that. I'm usually just trying to get from one class to another. Okay, so what are some other places? I'm going to try to think of some as well.
So one that I have in mind right now is the Cypress Black Bayou Recreation and Water Conservation District is a great place to take your family or just for a nature walk. There is also a mini zoo on site where you can see some animals. There's even sites to camp and trails to hike all around the area. It's a great place for anyone with the bug for getting out.
So where is the Cypress Black Bayou?
It's in Benton.
And it has zoo animals?
Yep, last time I was there, I saw deer, chickens, horse, pigs, a donkey, and numerous peacocks running around.
I've never seen a real peacock before.
They are pretty neat, and I like seeing them in person. And here's a fun fact about peacocks. A group of them is called an ostentation. It's a bit of a tongue twister, or you could just say muster.
That really isn't all that far either, and it sounds like you can do more than just walk. I might need to go see a peacock for myself. And I've thought of another place. Have you been to the Blanchard area?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this, actually.
Well, Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park has some terrific nature trails. This is another place you can do more than just walk. The trees are labeled and the plants. It's a great way to become familiar with the local vegetation.
I've been there, and don't forget though, the wonderful nature center. It has an aviary. I might even go back there pretty soon just for a walk,
So that's 3 places so far. I doubt you're done. Where else have you been?
The riverfront. It's another place in Bossier and Shreveport. Each offer around 8 miles of trails. Those trails also include picnic tables and a lovely garden. You can also walk around the Louisiana Boardwalk.
Man, if I went to the boardwalk, I'd probably go shopping at the outlet stores and Bass Pro Shop.
Well, your wallet might be empty after that, but you'd have your steps in for the day.
Talking about shopping, there's also 2 malls, one in Shreveport and one in Bossier City, that can help you with your shopping. I've also heard some people will go there early and walk the main part of the mall.
That's not a bad idea. If the weather won't allow to be outside, an enclosed space like that is pretty big and it would be a good substitution.
So what even got us on this topic?
Well, one of my teachers was talking to me about their weight gain since COVID hit, and people just aren't doing as much. It reminded me that I haven't been doing much as well.
Fair point. Well, let me bring some more information, scientific information regarding staying active. The CDC suggests for adults 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity activity, or 75 minutes a week of vigorous intensity activity.
150 minutes? That kind of sounds like a lot.
Well, not really. It's only 30 minutes a day for 5 days. I bet you walk that much in at least a week, and you didn't even realize.
Yeah, I guess I have. So why else should we stay active besides the great views, shopping, and education?
Well, for first, physical activity or exercise can improve your health and reduce the risk of developing several diseases, like type 2 diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease. Physical activity and exercise can have immediate and long-term health benefits. Most importantly, regular activity can improve your quality of life.
So just going out for a walk can really boost your mind, spirit, and body?
I bet. And you could even do that in style if you wanted to attract the ladies.
Well, hey.
Eric's got tips on how to iron your pants using homemade starch. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, how you doing? I want to teach you how to make homemade starch. When you get ready to iron your clothes, it's very easy. Just get a cup of water, make sure it's warm, like 2 or 3 teaspoons of flour. You pour it in a cup of water, you stir it, and make sure that it's very milky. Pour it into a container like this. Make sure it sprays like, just make sure it comes out fluently. Then you also want to add more warm water to it. Shake it up so you can get real milky like that in the inside. So once you have that did, now I do it like this. I spray the inside of my pans by flipping it the inside out and make sure it's wet. And then I come back and I spray it on top like this. Make sure that you get an old pair of pans or something so you can get some experience, so you don't burn your new pair. Make sure your iron is on and it's hot. Wipe your hand or you have a towel. Make sure everything is smooth. And then you just take your iron. And sometimes you can just stop, just sit there, count to 2 or 3, move it to the next section. Sometimes it might take about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to iron your pans, depends on how wet it is. Or you can just dip it in some flour and water, like you're washing clothes and hang it outside to dry, and then just spray a little bit on it. It'll come out even more better. So this is what I do. As I iron, I'm going across both sides. Then I just let it sit there. You want to be able to grab your pans to see if it stands up like this. If it's like that, sometimes it get a little stiffer. If you want your pans to crease, just continue, just move it here and there, let it sit there every now and then your pans will start to stiffen up. With this being done, like sometimes if you haven't did anything that day, you can hang these up in the closet. You won't have to worry about them getting wrinkled or anything. Make sure you have water in your iron too also to give it a good steam. As the pan starts to steam, it helps it. See how the iron is steaming? It just helps it get even more stiffer. Look at your bottle again, shake it some more, make sure, just in case you might want to use some more. Might not be as stiff as you want it. In a few minutes, they'll be almost ready. You start hearing the sandpaper sound. It's getting very, very close. You see how straight that is? As a kid, I used to be able to do this real good. And I could just stand them up on the side of the wall and just lay there like a piece of cardboard. But I know you guys don't want to do that. As if you want to look, see how that looks? It doesn't take that long. Sometimes you can thump it. You can do this to it. And it doesn't wrinkle. Thank you.
Well, I feel like this video kind of came out of left field. I don't even like ironing.
Well, since I saw this, I'm planning on buying an iron. I really want my pants to stand up against the wall. It looks like fun.
Well, I guess I can see the usefulness of this, but you're on your own on that one.
Well, I know Mardi Gras is already over for the year, but I wanted to talk about it. I'm hoping next year I can get into the parades again.
Yeah, Mardi Gras was different this year for sure, but people still found ways to celebrate. Go ahead, Beau. Give our audience a rundown for Mardi Gras.
Well, first, Mardi Gras is celebrated all around Louisiana and even Mississippi and Alabama. New Orleans is considered the heart of Mardi Gras, with tons of parades and tasty food.
We have parades here in Shreveport as well.
True, but the parades that take place here in Shreveport and those that take place in New Orleans differ.
How so?
Well, first, New Orleans is one of the biggest has one of the biggest parades. The dozens of crews in New Orleans spread out their parades throughout the Mardi Gras season. But on Mardi Gras Day, Fat Tuesday, they each send floats around the main square of New Orleans and then head to the convention hall for a final ball. They ride their floats into the ballroom, and at midnight, the police go through the city ending the parties in celebration of Mardi Gras. Afterwards, they head to the churches around the city to begin the religious season of Lent with Ash Wednesday.
It sounds odd at first, but Mardi Gras was originally a Catholic celebration, and it is a way to celebrate before Lent, where families would eat the last of their meat and other food that wouldn't last through the season till Easter.
There are some amazing crews in New Orleans, and they know how to party. New Orleans inspired the rest of the area to have their own version of Mardi Gras season and celebrate it in their own way.
Mardi Gras is full of parties, great food, and parades. Mardi Gras has been celebrated for about 320 years now and is a family favorite.
And with the parades, families have a chance to try and catch bees that not only are themed to whatever float is, but the crew that they are in. They have cups with designs with the crew logo and the yearly theme.
The cups are great. My cupboard is filled with the drinkware from the parades. Here are some more facts about the Mardi Gras season here in Shreveport. There are 4 major parades every year and many more balls. There are 6 crews in Shreveport, such as Highland, Centaur, Gemini, Atlas, Harambe, and Barkus and Meow.
The biggest 2 are Centaur and Gemini. They hold the 2 biggest balls in the area and are the most attended parades. Highland has a big parade that is always a family favorite.
Real quick, we're going to take a brief commercial break, but when we get back, we're going to be talking more about the crews.
Hi, my name is Lauren Brown, and I teach graphic design and animation at Bossier Parish Community College. I first got into animation as a kid, and I never stopped watching it. And I just knew that I wanted to be around the kind of people who made this stuff, and I wanted to figure out how to make it as well. There was just this fantasy aspect to it, this playfulness. I love the escape of it. I wanted to bring that happiness to other people.
My name is Tyler McDonald. I'm studying graphic design and digital media. I am currently in a design and animation class, and I want to start my own business with animation and t-shirt design. I've been interested in graphic art since I was about 12 years old, and I started watching a lot of cartoons. It's just something I saw as something I liked, and I've grown to like it and draw a lot of it. Taking classes here has honed a lot of my skills. It's brought them into more of a circle of where I work with them. I would recommend this to anybody trying to become a graphic artist because we have just about anything you want to study here. It's an amazing program.
We offer a lot of different courses in graphic design and animation. In graphic design, we start off with Photoshop. So you're taking things from different places and putting them together to make them look like they belong together. In Illustrator, you're creating graphics, so a lot of lines and gradients. You can do logos and layouts and things like that. Mascots, all kinds of fun stuff. And then you can put those things together in InDesign when you're looking at, okay, how do I lay out a book? How do I lay out a pamphlet? Something like that. With animation, you can take your stuff from Illustrator or Photoshop and bring it into After Effects and have it all move around. You can go into 2D animation software and either draw frame by frame, or you can sort of puppet, like a little cutout puppets where the joints move. You can also go into 3D animation where you're sculpting something, giving it color, and then putting bones in it so that you can animate it and it move around in 3D space within the computer. So there are a lot of different areas to explore.
Welcome back in. So let's take a closer look at a few of the crews. Centaur has been around since 1991 and has been a staple in Shreveport. Every year they meet to pick the royal court to see who will be the face of Centaur that year.
They also select a captain, 4 dukes and duchesses, 4 princes and princesses, along with a king and queen.
For Centaur, the year starts out with the coronation to welcome the new court. In February, there is a ball that shows off the court before the parade. This is to celebrate the Mardi Gras season and the people involved in it. And it gets everybody excited about the parade.
Gemini has a very similar setup with the royal court, consisting of 4 dukes and duchesses, 6 princes and princesses, 1 captain, king, and queen, are chosen for the selection process, and it is done through vote. And in August, they have their coronation to welcome their court, and then in February, they have their ball to celebrate before their parade.
The Gemini Parade is the second biggest one held in North Louisiana. The biggest difference in royalty between Centaur and Gemini is that Gemini does not allow their princes and princesses to participate in the parade.
And the biggest family parade, and the most enjoyable one, is the Highland Parade. This parade wraps up the season here in Shreveport and is the most family-friendly one. People from all around participate in this parade.
Anyone can participate in this parade as long as you have a group of people and get a float in time. Many schools and church groups will either make their own floats or rent one of the larger floats from Centaur or Gemini.
Unlike in New Orleans, the parades here don't end in a ball, but are a great big part of the culture here in Shreveport. With the year we've had, there hasn't been very many things going on with Mardi Gras.
You really have missed the parade since we are talking about this a month later. On the bright side, we still have enjoyed eating those king cakes. Families also adapt their take on the celebration, and we have continued to socially distance. Houses turned into floats in the sense their homes were decorated to look like floats.
It was great to see the Mardi Gras spirit continue this year amid the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hopefully, by next year, we'll be able to have a chance to catch some beads and cups again.
Man, all this food talk centered around Mardi Gras, it might have also had an impact on why I started walking. And one weekend, I think I finished, sad to say, I think I finished a whole king cake myself. This is not something I would recommend.
Well, hopefully, you've burned a lot of calories because in this next skit, Faith is going to show us how to make brownies. She even brought some to the set.
Great, more calories to walk out. Let's check it out.
First, you're going to start with some eggs and some oil and some water. This is pre-made cake batter, by the way. This is like box. You can see the box. Here is my sister getting the oil out and struggling severely with it. And here's what you need based on the box. So there's the egg, and here's the oil, and we're gonna pour all of that in after we get the cake batter, cake mix, whatever you wanna call it, in there, and make a mess while we're doing it. So we're gonna pour all this in, and then we're gonna pour the oil and the eggs in. And then right after that, we're actually going to add some water. Same amount if you want to have it less greasy-ish with the oil. And then add the egg. And after that, you're going to struggle to get your pan greased up. So the pan that you use to grease so the brownies don't stick, you want to spray the pan. Want to preheat your oven and then mix away. You want to make sure it's going really well. With brownies, you don't want to overmix it though, because then it turns into cake-like consistency, and we don't want that. So you want to mix it just right, so it's not cake-like, but brownie-like, because you want like fudge. So we're gonna mix and mix and mix and make sure you get all of the pre-made mix into it. That's what it's called. So make sure you get all of that up in there. Then after you mix it all up and you get it all good to go, add in whatever extras you want. For us, it was brownie chunks and brownies. Kind of funny. But that was us mixing in the brownie chunks. We opted to put them in before we baked it. You can put them on top or none at all. Depends on how you want to do it. It's all up to you. So. Then you want to just make sure that it's well mixed. And then pour it all into the pan. Make sure to kind of evenly coat it. You don't want it to really be heavy, because then you got to smooth it out, and you got to make sure that that's all good. And that's all good. So here's us trying to scoop all of the batter out. Trying to get all the batter out. and us putting it into our glass pan. Then you want to tap the container or the thing that it's in. You want to tap it on the table to make sure that it's like no air, like all the air bubbles go up, and then level it out so it's one side, not too much on one side or the other side. You just want to make sure it's all even so you get even brownies whenever you cook it. Also cake and stuff like that. So here's us smoothing it out, trying to make it pretty. And then here's us putting it into the oven. So we're gonna keep it in there for about 30 minutes. We put it in there for 30 minutes. Darn. We left it in there for almost 40. So this for 30 minutes. Here's checkup of right whenever it's put in. Here it is right before it comes out. It's looking mighty okay. Looking great. Yeah. Here is us taking it out. Once it was all done, you want to take it out and make sure that it's cooled and sits well. So just leave it up there and just leave it. Don't mess with it. And here it is, all cooled down and ready to be iced. Funfetti. Yeah, that's what it's called. Funfetti. So here's us putting it on there, and unfortunately we had ours kind of cake-like, so it came up. Like whenever we put the icing on, it just all kind of came up. But you want to make sure that it's really cooled before you do that, and it will stop this process right here. You want to make sure that it's really cooled, or it will bring up the cake as you put it down, because as you can see, it's bringing up the cake with the icing, and you don't want that. So we switched to a knife and then smooth it out. So that's how we did it. It's very interesting, for sure. More scallops. And so you just want to make sure that they're all on there and looking okay. So here's us putting the top on it, just to, like, the extras. And for us, these were Oreo brownies, so they were very, very good. But here's the top and the finished product.
Why did you have to tell me about these brownies? They're so good.
Yeah, I won't even need to make dinner. Thanks for the treat, Faith.
Thank you all for tuning in today, and remember to stay active.
And I'm your host, Beau Norman, and we'll see you another time on
What's Happening
SBC.